Snowplowing is one of the toughest and most overlooked jobs in winter. It isn't just about pushing snow out of the way, it's dealing with ice, slush, salt, and equipment that's constantly fighting the cold. Most of the work happens overnight or during storms, and the demands on both the truck and the operator are nonstop. Over the years, a wide range of machines in every size and configuration have taken on that job. Trains use massive wedge and rotary plows to keep rail lines open. Farm tractors get fitted with blades to dig out back roads and long driveways. But for most roads and neighborhoods, the job usually falls to trucks. Everything from half tons to medium-duty workhorses gets used depending on how serious the storm is. Municipal fleets, small-town contractors, and rural homeowners have long relied on pickups as the go-to tool for winter cleanup. Modern plow rigs range from half-ton trucks all the way up to Class 6 and 7 units like International's CV series. Commercial-grade trucks built to handle long hours and harsh winter conditions. Corrosion-resistant build, high-capacity charging systems, and just small enough to squeeze down tight neighborhood streets. Bigger cities go even heavier. Freightliner 1.8 SDs, for example, roll out with dump beds, salt spreaders, and front plows. Snowplow trucks are some of the hardest working vehicles on the road, and in some cases, they don't last very long. Clearing miles of snow, sleet, and ice is brutal enough, but the real killer is the salt and calcium chloride they spread. The same chemicals that keep roads safe also chew through frames, brake lines, wiring, and anything metal. That's not to say that there is preventative maintenance that you can do to have your truck last. Beyond surviving the salt, a plow truck also needs the right equipment to actually get the job done. A plow truck needs a high output alternator to power pumps and lights, four-wheel drive for traction, heavy-duty front suspension, coolers for transmissions and power steering, and winter-rated tires. Without those components, and I'm sure there's more, the truck simply won't perform the way a plow rig needs to. Not all plows are built the same. Most fall into three categories: steel, poly, or stainless steel. Steel plows are the old school choice, cheaper, easy to match with existing fleets, and built tough. Poly plows are slicker, snow slides off easier, they resist scratches, and they keep their color even as they wear. Stainless steel plows split the difference: less rust, more shine, and better snow shedding than regular steel, but still prone to dings and usually more expensive. And then there's shape. Straight blades are simple and predictable, great for lighter jobs. V-plows are adjustable and can break through deep snow or funnel it to either side. Box plows, also called pushers, are the heavy hitters. Wide, squared-off blades meant for big parking lots, industrial yards, and total snow removal. These are just the basics. Correct me if I got anything wrong. I'm trying to keep it simple. Ironically, I haven't seen snow in several years. I've moved out of Wisconsin over 10 years ago. As I'm recording this, it's 75 degrees with some light rain where I'm at. Milwaukee is sitting at 23 degrees and cloudy. But anyway, over the years, some manufacturers have offered these unique additions or packages that consumers could add on. This is still a thing today, at least as far as Ford goes. They offer this Snowplow prep package for $350. If we go back to the 80s, here's an 83 Ford with the Snowplow special package, which could be upgraded to the Plus. As far back as the 60s, probably even farther, these Snowplow prep packages have been offered for GM, Ford, and Dodge. I'd try my best to find the more unique packages from over the years, and I think I did a pretty good job. Without further ado, here are some of the coolest factory snowplow trucks in chronological order. First up is one of the coolest and definitely one of the rarest factory plow specials ever made, the 1971 International Snowstar. This wasn't a long-running trim. In fact, it was a one-year only package. International discussed doing special plow versions for 72, 73, and 74, but nothing ever came of them. What we got in 1971 is all that exists. The Snowstar was offered on two different IH platforms: the 3/4 ton 1210 pickup from the Lightline series and the Scout 800B, the final evolution of the original Scout before the Scout 2 arrived. Every Snowstar came with 4x4, bucket seats, a shiftable 3-speed automatic, a high-output electrical system, and heavy-duty suspension. Both models also received a Dana Powerlock rear differential, 4-wheel traction in deep winter. And of course, the star of the show, a Meyer hydraulic snowplow. From inside the cab, the driver could angle the blade 30 degrees left or right in just 3 seconds, and the system included a built-in safety release whenever the blade hit an obstacle. Blade size depended on the platform. The ST78 for the Scout was around 65 to 70 inches, and ST90 for the 1210 was around 75 to 80 inches. As for the exterior, bright yellow and white two-tone paint with racing-style black/white stripes in Snowstar graphics. I absolutely love the look of both the Scout and the 1210 with this paint scheme. Special editions from International weren't very common aside from things like the Johnny Reb or the Midas package, so seeing a factory-done version this bold, it's just awesome. The Scout Snowstar is one most collectors know. One even sold on Bring a Trailer for $33,000 with just 22,000 miles on it. The 1210 version, on the other hand, is far tougher to find, definitely not as common as the Scout. Production numbers, completely unknown. IH planned to continue the Snowstar name, but after 71, the idea disappeared into history. This is one of my personal favorite entries. It's going to be hard to top it, but let's see if I can. Up next is Dodge with the Snowfighter. The Snowfighter package was available on W100, 200, and 300 pickups from around 1972 to 1977. Again, before 72, and I even found an ad from 1969, snow prep packages and plows could be had before. It's interesting because just like International, snow is spelled S-N-O, and also fighter is incorrectly spelled as well. That's just how these manufacturers marketed these packages. You got Snowway as well. It was just for branding purposes. But anyway, what did you get with this package? Well, let's start with the exterior. First thing that catches most people's eyes is that reflective stripe that goes down the truck side. As you would expect, the purpose was to let people know where you were. Most people were snowplowing in the middle of the night, and this was just another form of safety. You also got cab roof lights for better visibility, a Snowfighter decal, extended front bumper to mount a snowplow, and I believe that's it visually. Mechanically though, 410 gear ratios front and rear, 9 leaf front springs with 3,800 pound capacity, heavy duty Dana 60 front and back, limited slip diff, and heavy duty suspension. Consumers could opt in for the 318, 360, 400, or 440. First year for a Dodge pickup 2 heavy 440 offered. They came with the long bed, and they could be had in any color. Most people would choose a high impact color to, again, be easier seen in the middle of the night. Additionally, most of these were automatics just because it was easier on the driver. Here's a photo of an ad from Fitzgerald Hicks Dodge. We can see these Snowfighters they had included a plow. Some of these trucks were just prep packages. From 1978 to around 1990, and I'm not exactly sure, but the Snowfighter was now known as the Snow Commander, which I will briefly go over after our next entry. Next to be featured is Jeep with their snow package being the Snow Boss. Couple things. We can see this ad from 1976 where this CJ7 has a snowplow added on. Same thing with this Cherokee. Fast forward 1 year, Jeep now has a package referred to as the Snow Boss. I'm sure prior to 76 you could add a snow prep package or whatever, but for this entry I'm going to be focusing on later years. Also, it depends on the model year for exact equipment configurations. I'm going to go with 1982 since I have a brochure right in front of me that explains all of the equipment versus digging through some forums online from 10-15 years ago. With it, you got all mounting brackets, lift frame, plow lights, hydraulic lift unit, electronic control, second and A frame, Snow Boss identification, complete switches and wiring, steel plow, and hydraulic cylinders. To the left of that list, we have the performance matched options such as a heavy-duty alternator, cooling battery, etc. If you noticed, there is an extra duty suspension for the Wagoneer and Cherokee, and if we move down, we can see that this was optional for them as well. Here's a 1979 Cherokee Golden Eagle that I found, which is interesting as this package was on the more expensive side and was mainly graphics only, but someone did add it on to theirs. I really like these J-Series pickups, first introduced in 1971 and going on all the way until 1988. If we fast forward to the 2020s, I'm pretty sure there's no factory snow prep package for the Gladiator. There are some people that have equipped their Gladiators with a Snowplow, but nothing from factory anymore. Alright, so we're going to go back to Dodge. We know about the Snow Fighter. That name was then changed to the Snow Commander in, I believe, 1978, where it would be optional to around 1990. I believe this is new. You could add this package onto the Ram Charger as well, and of course, the Power Wagon. For the most part, the same upgrades apply to these as well, especially the earlier ones, just with different engines and suspension changes that occurred over the years. Things like heavy-duty springs and shocks, plow wiring, cab lights, that reflective strip, upgraded differentials, hydraulic pump reservoir, and a factory-installed Meyer snowplow. I'll be honest, the information on these, it's not very abundant, and I obviously was not alive during that time, so when I say factory-installed Meyer snowplow, I feel like it's more, I feel like it more depends on the dealership. Right, so after the Snow Commander came the Snow Chief, and these were introduced sometime in the 2000s. I did do a build and price for a 2025, and I did not see this as an option, but I did see a 2024 3500 Tradesman with the package. Here's a 2018, and it's interesting because this one has a Cummins. This must have been added to later models because earlier ones could not opt in for the Cummins. If we go ahead and scroll down, we can see what the Snow Chief group added, which were clearance lamps, off-road tires, transfer case skid plate shield, and auxiliary switches. Here's an article talking about a 2015 2500, and it states the Chief group was a $780 option, which included a limited slip rear axle, auxiliary switches, extra marker lights, and more. Additionally, there's a heavy-duty snowplow prep group which added a 180 amp alternator and a skid plate. Our last entry is a concept, unfortunately, it being the Chevy Silverado HD Alaskan Edition. These were first introduced at the 2016 SEMA show, and I think it would have been really cool if these made it to production. Well, you know what, they did in a way, but they didn't come with that blue and silver paint job, 20-inch chrome wheels, chrome bumpers, chrome grille, and that huge stainless steel snowplow. Speaking of the Alaskan Edition, around Christmas time, I'm going to have a Strange Editions video, but for winter editions, so stay tuned for that. We're at the end of the video. I have a quick announcement. Videos are now going to be bi-weekly, and I'll explain why next month. Nothing tragic has happened, just a big opportunity is on the horizon for me. I don't want to ever leave this channel. I love this channel. I put so much time into it, but uploads will take longer for, a brief period of time. Anyway, yeah, I'm sorry for the news, but I hope you all have a great rest of your week, and I will see you all in 2 weeks.